Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another Master Grade Gundam video review, and this time I'm taking a look at the Master Grade of the Shining Gundam, the first lead Gundam from the series Mobile Suit, or Mobile Fighter G Gundam. And first of all, that's the mobile suit real quick. Real quick, I do want to show off before we get into anything else is the core lander that comes with this kit. I'll get him out of the way. So, here's the core lander, not necessarily a core fighter, just like a little hovercraft speed car kind of thing. Well, very nicely detailed, just a couple, not very much going on with this. There is a couple, there's a lot of painting that you'd have to do to get this to look right. All the lining on the white binders from underneath. There's these bulbs right here on top, are supposed to actually be yellow, and these are supposed to be kind of like tail lights. So, and then this piece came in yellow, so I had to paint it over white, and then the vents gray, which didn't turn out as well as I hoped, but oh well. And the cockpit can open up on the core lander, and you can see in there a tiny Domon sitting in there unpainted in blue plastic. And then, as you saw me messing with it earlier, this thruster is on a swivel. So really all this thing really is for is to being a backpack to the Gundam. So all we do is we just rotate the cockpit up so it comes out looking like that, and then take the Gundam, and you see this cavity in the back of the mobile suit, and the cockpit will actually just slide in and attach just like that, and it's a very solid connection. It's not going to come out. So yep, and there we have the Shining Gundam all ready to go into battle. Another one of my favorite mobile suits. Probably on the list of top 10 or top 5. I believe this was number 2. Yeah, this was the second, my number 2 favorite mobile lead Gundam of all time. So yeah. Anyways, go ahead and take a look at some of the details that we have in here. Very nice, very awesome head sculpt. As you can see here, the little fins on the back for his super mode. I painted them in gold. They originally come in the same yellow plastic as these chest pieces and the chest Vulcans, so I went ahead and painted them gold before I did anything, just so I painted all the gold pieces for the super mode actually gold before I did anything to building this. So yeah. Anyways, we do have decals are very minuscule on this. They do give you some decals, but there's only like one that they tell you to put, and that's the King of Hearts symbol on his shoulder, and that's it. Because this show takes quite a different turn than what Gundam is usually used to doing, so it kind of makes sense that this doesn't have that many decals on it, because it's, instead of being a suit made for like a tank for war, this is a mobile fighter. It's supposed to be for one-on-one hand-to-hand combat with another mobile suit. So we don't have very many caution warning labels all over it. Just one logo for the King of Hearts. Anyways, posability wise for this Gundam, a very nice amount of posability. This, if you watched my Master Gundam review, the mobile suits from Gundam, or from G Gundam, for the Master Grades, pretty much pioneered the entire inner frame. So we have inner frame going all throughout this. It's just, I'd rather not show it off, but take the time to pull my model kit apart to show it off, but we do have a ball joint at the top of the head, or at the top of the neck for the head, so it can rotate and look around any which way you want, and a rocking joint on the base of the neck so it can get some extra up and downward movement. This chest piece does slide in mainly for crossing, like arms crossing across his chest. It gets out of the way so you can cross one arm over the chest to make it to get some extra posing out of it without it being too much in the way. And if you can also pull it out just a tiny bit and look inside and see just a blank emptiness like you could the Master Gundam. There wasn't really much of a cockpit, so yeah. Anyways, shoulders, very nice movement in the shoulders. We do have 360-degree rotation here, as well as outward bend and a swivel at the bicep, although there's not very much clearance for it, so it does kind of get hampered by some of the other bits in there. Elbow joint is double jointed, and this piece, the gauntlet on his arm, can rotate around, as well as the hand is on a ball joint, which we'll get into the hands in just a bit. There is some rubber parts that get used for this model kit in the hands and the soles of the feet. So yeah, we'll get into the hands in just a moment. Torso, nothing in the inner torso, but there is a ball joint in the torso and waist to get a wide range of movement there, so not bad. Just like Master Gundam, the skirt, well, the skirt armor does get out of the way fairly well. Not too good, but it does get it out of the way, like that much. But the side skirt armor really doesn't need to get out of the way because that's all the farther his legs are going to bend. And then backwards, it would go about that far, and forward, you're going to get about that far of movement in the leg. There's no bicep swivel, it's all, or bicep, thigh swivel, it's all just a ball joint on the hip is all that the posability is there. Double joint in the knee, pretty good range of bend in the knee, and a rocker joint at the top of the ankle, as well as a ball joint at the bottom. And the feet, the back part of the foot can move, as well as the toe can bend up, curl down, any way you need it to. So yeah, it does get a lot of good articulation in it, which I do greatly appreciate. It's something that, considering the nature of the anime, this mobile suit needed to be able to do, and it pulls it off pretty well. Alright, and now for accessories. Now, we're going to go ahead and start off. I want to go ahead and get this guy out of the way. Just like the Master Gundam, how it came with a 1:20 scale figure of the pilot, we do have one for Domon Kasshu. Once again, one that I have yet to paint, because the only one I've actually worked on doing is Shiro Amada from my Easy 8, but we'll get into that. That's a different video. But yeah, some nice detail in there. Nice detail in the head. The these little pieces coming out of his spine are separate pieces, and then the bandana is also a separate piece on the back. So you do have to be careful. They can get lost. They're tiny pieces. You might have to want to glue that in if you ever want to take care of getting these guys done. But yeah. Anyways, now for the mobile suits accessories. We do have a couple beam sabers here, stored on the, there we go, stored on the side skirt armor. We get a long handle and a short handle, and they come with 2 corresponding pink beam saber blades for each one. A long one for the long blade or handle, and a short blade for the short handle. And as you can see here, I did put another couple of the decals on there. It didn't turn out as well as I expected it to, but you can get it to focus. How it says G Gundam in the blade during the opening scene. I decided to try to pull that off with those decals. So when you get these, they're not necessarily the same kind of beam saber blades that we got from RX-78-2. These are kind of straight on blades. Just clear pink blades, and very bright pink too, so it's kind of, they don't like to show up on camera very well, and it's just more clear than it is pink, I guess. Which, real quick, I do want to go ahead and show off before we get too far into the review and I end up forgetting. Size comparison with the original Gundam. So just go ahead and set him down. So yeah, as you can see, yeah, they're standing side by side, and just like Master Gundam and Wing Gundam, Shining Gundam is more of the smaller side that most 90s Gundams were. So he's actually 16 meters, whereas the original Gundam was 18 meters. So that is kind of translated well into the master grade kits, I'll say. Go ahead and get him out of the way now. We'll get back to focusing on Shining Gundam here. So, anyways, back to the beam sabers now. It does come with 2 gripping hands, one for each side for the beam sabers. All you do is just slide the beam sabers into the fingers. And you can do that on that one too. And go ahead and pop off these, which also brings to the whole ball joint and rubber hands, is so that way you could just instantly swap them out instead of having to deal with movable fingers at such a smaller size than what regular Gundams do. So yeah, does not look too bad. Not my personal way, favorite way of displaying him, but that is an option available with those beam sabers out. He does also come with 2 of these hands. They're Kung Fu style hands, flat out hands, so they don't, not necessarily too expressive for any Kung Fu poses, but they're usable, so you can actually go ahead and swap them out. And get the Shining Gundam into some kind of Kung Fu fight stance or something like that real quick, just to show it off. Yeah, not necessarily too expressive, nothing like the curved up and curved down hands that the Master Gundam had, so he can be a little bit more expressive with his Kung Fu fighting style hands, but yeah, that's not too bad. And now the final accessory that we have, we're gonna actually swap back to the regular fists, is, I want to show this after we get the transformation done, because only when he achieves his super mode can Domon Kasshu's Shining Gundam use its final attack, the Shining Finger. And so, in order to get to the super mode, what we have to do is get very, very angry and express all our emotions. I usually like to get him prepped by standing this way like he does in the anime. You don't have to do this, but it's just something I like to do for fun. when playing around with it. But first thing I like to do with the transformation is come here and take the shoulder pads and slide them up and reveal the gold inner frame on these shoulders, which once again was originally the same yellow as those pieces, so I just painted it as a metallic gold, and it's coming off on my camera pretty well. And do the same on this side, just pop that shoulder pad up, and then take these gauntlets and swing them out and forward while making sure you still keep the clip connected onto the piece. It's very hard to keep connected, but yeah. So out and forward just like that. Go ahead and do it again on the other side. Next, take these pieces on the outside of his knees and pull them open, and they reveal these gold jets underneath. Do the same on this side. And then take the feet and take the red part from the front of the foot and extend it out. And then after that, rotate the back part down to match the foot, and then also take the back red piece and that will slide down as well. So that will all line up and be, whoops, be flush, so that way he's got, doesn't lose any balance that way. And then finally take the head and fold out these fins like so, and then take the front of the mouth plate, and that actually comes off, maybe, if it wants to come off for me. Here we go. Come on. Oh, there we go. So yeah, the front of the mouth plate actually just comes off like that. Come on, focus at it real quick. Show what it looks like. Yep, just that mouth plate comes off. Instead of splitting in half like it does in the anime, you just swap it out with these two half pieces, which just fit onto the side and finishes up the look. And there we have the Shining Gundam in its final, or in its super mode. Oop. Sometimes these shoulder pads like to slide down on me, so I have to make sure that they stay upright. So yeah, kind of a transformation, but it doesn't really gain anything in terms of size or mass or anything like that. It just exposes some new inner bits, and the feet extend out, so he has a better center of gravity. And then finally, what I like to do, I like to curve this arm back and then extend this arm forward, and then we swap this hand out, and we do get two of these shining finger hands done in bright green plastic. Not soft rubbery plastic or anything like that. These are the normal hard clear green or clear plastic that they would use for other mobile suits and stuff like that. So it's not flexible, and you gotta be careful not to break any of the fingers off or anything like that. But it does come with that, and some clear, like I said, clear green, which I would love to show this in under a black light, but I don't unfortunately have one to use at the moment. So, and then because of that, gauntlet can rotate up, can have it resting on top of the arm instead of on the side to finish the look of him getting ready to do his shining finger attack. So just finish up doing the posing, and there we go. So yeah, again, that is very awesome. I do like the way that looks. And lastly, there is a couple more replacement parts that it comes with. It comes with a top fin for the super mode. It comes with that, and this, another V-fin. Both of them as rubbery plastic, so that way in case you don't like to use the hard plastic, you want to use rubbery plastic instead to preserve these pieces and keep them from breaking, you can do that. Which I actually plan on replacing that top fin because my paint job kind of came up a little muddled and grainy, and I don't like the way it looks. Well, this one came off looking a lot smoother. I don't know how well you can tell on camera, but oh yeah. So I'm thinking about swapping out and using this one. But there is the shiny Gundam. And real quick, I wanted to do this comparison as well. Him standing next to his master, the Master Gundam, who is using his wings as a prop at this point because it's just a pain to keep him stood up because of how back heavy he is. But there is the two of them. Very nice. They don't look that bad together. One using the darkness finger, one getting ready to, or using the shining finger. So overall, I do really like this master grade. It is outdated. That's for sure. It's an older master grade. This thing originally came out, I believe, 2000, 2001, around there. So we've got 14 years of master grades after this that have been just progressively better. So unfortunately, the master grades for the G Gundam did not reach that far. We got to see these two, and then we got to see the God Gundam and the Spiegel Gundam, or Shadow Gundam if you are watching the American version. But yeah, unfortunately we didn't get to see very much of these, and if we were ever to see any more, we'd probably need to do 2.0 or version remastered of him at least, because that just the entire construction of him is just out of date. But oh well. Still, it is one of my favorites. I do highly recommend it. Now, just like the Master Gundam, there is some screws that you'd have to put in. If you're not good with putting screws in your model kits, then you might want to reconsider getting this kit. But honestly, I would not let that be a deal breaker. If you have the tools to make a model kit, then you probably have a screwdriver somewhere as well. So it just takes a small Phillips head screwdriver. That's all it takes for like I think like a total of, we have 2 in each knee, 1 in each shoulder, 2 in each ankle, and then 1 in the center of the chest. So just about 1, 2, oh, and 1 in each elbow. So 2, 4, 2. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that now. I can't think of the number on the top of my head, but yeah, not that many screws to deal with. But overall, I would not let that be that big of a deal breaker for this kit. It is still a fun kit to put together, and the end result looks awesome. Now, as I mentioned before, there is some painting that you would have to do if you really want this to look great. There's all of the gold parts for the super mode that come off the tree as the standard yellow. So if you don't like the way that looks, you can always paint it over, but like I did. So just keep in mind that's something that you might have to do too in getting this kit. But overall, very fun, excellent beginner's choice in my opinion. Considering its age, there's not much in terms of complexity in it. So anyways, I think I've geeked on about this one long enough, so hopefully. So anyways, if you guys, like I said, I highly recommend this one, being one of my being number 2 of my top 100, or my top 5 master grade, or not master grades, top 5 main Gundams, lead Gundams. Yeah, this one being number 2, so there isn't that much to compete against. We just got to see the Zeta Gundam eventually, which will be a different review. Anyways, this is Ratchet Reviews. I hope you guys like this video review, and I will see you guys next time with another review. See ya.